I am standing in an empty apartment in Portland holding my phone with the last message from my wife still unread on the screen. 3 years ago, I stood in the kitchen of our Chicago home and heard her say those words that would change everything. "You need to be a man, Christopher." Back then I thought she wanted me to be stronger, more decisive, but now I understand. She did not want me to be a man. She wanted me to be silent and compliant. How does a simple sentence destroy a marriage? Let me tell you. Before I tell you how I got here, how a marriage I thought would last, forever ended with moving boxes and lawyer fees. I want to ask you something. Where are you watching this from? Drop a comment and let me know. If you have ever felt controlled in a relationship, if you have ever been told that having boundaries means you are hiding something, this story is for you. Hit that like button and subscribe so you do not miss more stories about taking back control of your life. Because what I am about to share might just save yours. Now, let me take you back to where it all started falling apart. 5 years ago, Amanda and I were what everyone called the perfect couple. I was 32, working as a graphic designer for a small agency in Chicago, and she was 29, a marketing coordinator with ambitions bigger than her paycheck. Our marriage was 2 years old and felt solid. We had routines that made us feel connected. Friday nights we cooked together. She loved making pasta from scratch, and I handled desserts. Nothing fancy, just us moving around our small kitchen like we had choreographed it. Weekends meant farmers markets in Lincoln Park, wandering through stalls of fresh produce and homemade bread, her hand in mine. We shared a joint account for bills and groceries, but we each kept personal accounts too. I believed in that. Healthy boundaries, I called it. Two people could be married and still maintain individual space. We did not need to know every single thing about each other every single moment. That was my philosophy. I trusted her. She trusted me, or so I thought. The first crack appeared on a Tuesday evening 3 years ago. I was working in our small home office laptop, open designing a logo for a client with a ridiculous deadline. Amanda walked in and asked for my laptop password. She said she needed to look at some photos from our last vacation. Simple request. But I hesitated. My laptop had personal emails, work files, marked confidential passwords to accounts that were mine alone. Nothing sinister, just private. "Let me get it for you," I said, already moving to pull up the photo folder. Her face changed. That was the only way I could describe it, like I had slapped her. "Why can you not just tell me the password? What are you hiding?" "I am not hiding anything," I said carefully. "It is just privacy. We all need some privacy." "Privacy?" Her voice went up an octave. "We are married, Christopher. Married couples do not keep secrets." I felt cornered, trapped in my own office. "Privacy is not the same as secrets," I tried to explain. "I have work stuff on here, confidential client information, and personal emails. It is not about you." She stared at me like I had just confessed to an affair. "If you have nothing to hide, it should not matter." The logic felt wrong, but I could not articulate why in that moment. Finally exhausted, I gave her the password. She pulled up the photos, did not say thank you, and left. I sat there staring at my screen, feeling like something important had just been taken from me. I did not know then that small things have a way of becoming big things. A few weeks later, she wanted access to my Facebook and Instagram accounts. She wanted to post couple photos from my profiles, wanted us to share everything like other couples did online. I had private conversations with friends on those platforms. Guy talk. Nothing inappropriate, just the kind of stuff you do not necessarily share with your spouse because it is boring or irrelevant. Jokes about sports, complaints about work, group chats about hobbies. "If you have nothing to hide, why does it matter?" she asked again. That phrase was becoming her favorite weapon. "It is not about hiding," I said, trying to stay calm. "It is about personal space. You have group chats with your friends. I do not ask to read those. That is different. My friends are all girls. We talk about girl stuff. And I talk about guy stuff with my friends. It does not mean I am hiding anything from you." She started crying. Actual tears. Told me I did not trust her. I felt like the worst husband in the world, but I held firm. "I trust you completely, but trust does not mean zero boundaries." We did not speak for 2 days. I started feeling exhausted all the time, like I was constantly defending myself for wanting something as basic as privacy. I was starting to feel like wanting any personal space made me the bad guy. Then came the night that changed everything. It was a Thursday. I came home after a long day, tired and hungry. Amanda was in the kitchen making dinner without me for the first time in months. The atmosphere felt heavy. She slammed a plate down on the table harder than necessary. "We need to talk," she said. Those 4 words that never mean anything good. I sat down, bracing myself. "I am tired of your boundaries, Christopher. I am tired of feeling like I am married to a stranger." A stranger. I could not believe what I was hearing. "We spend every evening together. We share our days, our plans, our—" She cut me off. "But I do not know you. You will not let me in. You keep everything locked up." "I share everything important with you. My feelings, my day at work, my plans for the future, my dreams. But not your passwords, not your phone, not your private conversations with friends. Because they are private. That is literally the definition of the word." Her face went cold, ice cold. "You know what? Maybe you need to be a man, Christopher." The words hit me like a physical blow. What does that even mean? A man does not hide behind boundaries and privacy. A man is open with his wife. A man does not make his wife feel like she is not trusted. I tried to respond, tried to explain that being a man had nothing to do with giving up every shred of personal space, but she was already walking away. She went into our bedroom and locked the door. I sat alone in the kitchen, staring at my plate of food going cold, wondering if I was crazy. Was I wrong? Was I being a bad husband? Did marriage really require giving up every single piece of yourself? That night I slept on the couch and wondered if I was the problem. Maybe I was being unreasonable. Maybe this is what marriage required. Total, complete transparency, even if it felt like suffocating. 2 months later, I decided to try it her way. Maybe if I gave her what she wanted, everything would get better. I handed over every password. Phone, laptop, email, social media, bank accounts, everything. I thought once she saw there was nothing to worry about, we could go back to normal. At first it seemed to work. She smiled more, kissed me more, posted couple photos on my Facebook page without asking, tagged me in status updates, replied to messages from my friends on my behalf, always using we instead of I. My friend Jake texted one Saturday, "Hey man, want to catch the game later?" Amanda replied before I even saw it, "We have plans that day, maybe next time." I did not have plans. She had made plans without asking me. My friends started noticing. Jake messaged me privately, "Dude, is everything okay? You seem different." I did not know how to explain that my wife was slowly erasing me. I thought giving her what she wanted would fix things. Instead, it just moved the finish line further away. There was always something more. She needed access to some new level of transparency I had not achieved yet. 3 months after my surrender, the control tightened like a noose. She started checking my browser history every evening. She wanted detailed accounts of every conversation I had at work. She asked me to send her selfies every hour when I was not home. She tracked my location through Find My iPhone. One Wednesday evening, I got home 30 minutes late. Traffic on I-290 was a nightmare because of an accident. I walked through the door to find Amanda standing there, phone in hand, face tight with anger. "Where were you?" "Traffic. There was an accident on the expressway." "You did not text me?" "I was driving. I cannot text and drive." "You could have called." "Amanda, I am 30 minutes late. That is it. Half an hour. 33 minutes. And you did not think I would worry." That was when it hit me. This was not worry. This was control. Pure control. I tried to talk to her about it that night. "I feel like I cannot breathe," I said. Her response, "So now caring about you is suffocating. Maybe if you were more open from the start, I would not have to worry so much." She blamed me for her behavior, for her need to know where I was every second. It was my fault for having boundaries in the first place. I realized I could not win. If I had boundaries, I was cold and hiding something. If I had no boundaries, it was never enough transparency. I felt like I was drowning in my own marriage, and every time I tried to come up for air, she pushed me back down. The final straw came the following weekend. My mother called and asked if we could meet for coffee. She had a small health concern, nothing serious, but she wanted to talk to me about it privately first. "Do not tell Amanda yet," Mom said. "I do not want to worry her. Let us talk first, just you and me." I met her at the Daily Grind on Clark Street. We ordered coffee, sat in a corner booth, and she started telling me about some test results her doctor wanted to run. Nothing alarming, just routine follow-up stuff. We were mid-conversation when my phone rang. Amanda. Where are you? I am at a coffee shop. With who? My mom. Why did you not tell me? It was last minute. She just wanted to. I am coming there. I tried to tell her it was not necessary, but she had already hung up. 15 minutes later, she walked into the cafe. She smiled at my mother, sat down, made small talk. But the atmosphere shifted. Mom looked uncomfortable. She cut our conversation short, said we would talk later, and left. In the car on the way home, Amanda unleashed. You lied to me. I did not lie. I just did not mention it because it was last minute, and that is lying by omission, Christopher. That is the same thing. Something in me finally snapped. It was coffee with my mother. I am allowed to have coffee with my own mother without filing a report. Not when you are keeping secrets. This is insane. Do you hear yourself? Do you hear how crazy this sounds? She went quiet, dangerously quiet. Then in a voice colder than I had ever heard from her. Maybe if you knew how to be a man, you would understand why your wife needs to know where you are. There it was again, that phrase, be a man. But this time, something inside me shifted. I went completely calm, eerily calm. I stopped arguing. I just nodded and drove the rest of the way home in silence. That night, I realized something important. This marriage could not be saved. It was not about compromise anymore. It was about survival, my survival. She wanted me to be a man, fine. I would be a man, just not the kind she expected. The next week I stopped fighting. I stopped explaining. I became quiet, compliant on the surface. Amanda thought she had won, but inside I was planning. I researched divorce laws in Illinois late at night when she was asleep. I found a lawyer online and scheduled a secret consultation using my work phone. I opened a new bank account at an online-only bank, one that did not send paper statements to our house. I started transferring small amounts of money every few days. I started staying late at work, not really working, just sitting in my car, in the parking garage, browsing job listings in other states. I needed to start over, completely over. Not just divorce, but a new city, a new life, away from Chicago, away from her. Then I saw it. Senior graphic designer position at Cascadia Creative in Portland, Oregon. 30% salary increase, full relocation package, start date in 3 months. I applied that night in my car, using my personal email. I did not tell anyone. She wanted transparency. She would get silence. She wanted me to be a man. I would show her what that really meant. 3 weeks later, I got the email. We would like to offer you the position. I read it at midnight, locked in the bathroom, the only place I could still have any privacy. $78,000 a year, up from $60,000. Relocation package worth $15,000. Start date 8 weeks from now. I accepted immediately. I did not tell Amanda. Instead, I contacted a divorce attorney named Patricia Huang. I booked a consultation. I started the paperwork. For the first time in 2 years, I felt powerful. Not angry, not bitter, just done, completely done. For the first time in years, I felt like I was in control of my own life, and I was not going to tell her a single thing until I was ready. The next 6 weeks, I lived a double life. At home, I was the quiet, compliant husband she thought she had broken. Outside, I was building my escape route. I found an apartment in Portland through video tours on Zoom. I signed a lease. I transferred more money into my separate account. I arranged for a moving company to come pack my things scheduled for the day after I would leave. I bought a second phone, a cheap prepaid one, to communicate with my lawyer and the new company. I kept it in my car, hidden in the glove compartment. I used a mail forwarding service so important documents would not come to our apartment. One evening, Amanda asked, "You have been really quiet lately. What is going on in that head of yours?" "Just tired from work," I said. She studied my face. "You are not hiding anything from me, right?" I looked straight into her eyes. What would I be hiding? You have access to everything. It was a lie, but I felt no guilt. None. "Good," she said, satisfied. "I just want to make sure we are on the same page." "We are on the same page," I said. We were not. We were not even reading the same book anymore. She thought she knew everything about me. She thought she had me figured out, controlled, managed. She was wrong. 2 days before my start date in Portland, I quit my job at the Chicago agency. I gave them some vague excuse about personal reasons. I booked a hotel room near O'Hare Airport for that night. I packed one backpack and one carry-on suitcase with essentials. Thursday evening, Amanda went to her weekly yoga class at 6 o'clock. She would be gone until 7:30, like clockwork. At 6:15, I walked out of our apartment for the last time. I left most of our stuff. The movers would come later for my personal belongings. On the kitchen counter, I left a sealed envelope. Inside were divorce papers and a short letter. I had written it 3 times before I got it right. Amanda, by the time you read this, I will be gone. I have accepted a job out of state. I am filing for divorce. You wanted me to be a man who does not hide behind boundaries. So I am being that man by setting the ultimate boundary. I am leaving. You will receive the official paperwork from my attorney next week. I wish you well, but I cannot do this anymore. Christopher. I checked into the hotel. Around 8 o'clock, my old phone started buzzing. I had left it in my backpack, but I could feel it vibrating through the fabric. 37 missed calls from Amanda by 9 o'clock. 62 text messages by 10. I did not read a single one. I turned the phone completely off and put it in a drawer. That night, I slept better than I had in 3 years. I did not owe her an explanation. I did not owe her a warning. She wanted me to stop hiding. I stopped telling her anything at all. The next morning, I flew to Portland. I started my new job on Monday. My new apartment was a small studio in the Pearl District with a view of the Willamette River. I could walk to work in 15 minutes. I explored the City Powell's books, with its endless shelves, the Saturday market down by the waterfront, the trails in Forest Park where the air smelled like pine and rain. I kept my old phone off. I got a new number and only gave it to my lawyer and a few close friends. Messages from Amanda kept coming to my old phone, but I never read them. 1 week after arriving in Portland, I got an email from Patricia. Subject line, "Divorce papers have been served." Amanda had received them. It was real now, official. I felt a tiny bit guilty, but mostly I felt relieved, incredibly relieved. I did not regret it, not for 1 second. Portland felt like breathing after being underwater. I did not realize how suffocated I had been until I could finally fill my lungs with air again. Then, 3 weeks later, another email from Patricia. Subject, "We have a complication." Amanda was claiming she was pregnant. My heart stopped. Then my brain started working. We had not been intimate in the 3 months before I left. The last time was 4 months before that. If she was pregnant, she would have known long before now. Her lawyer sent medical documents. She claimed she was 6 weeks along. She was demanding I come back to Chicago, work on the marriage stop, the divorce. I asked for a paternity test, immediately. Her response through her lawyer, "How dare he doubt me, this is his child." But the timeline did not add up. 6 weeks pregnant meant conception happened right around the time I was secretly planning to leave, when we were barely speaking, when we definitely were not sleeping together. Patricia explained that, under Illinois law, if Amanda was pregnant and we were legally married, I would be presumed the father unless I could prove otherwise. I needed that test. I insisted. Mandatory paternity test, non-negotiable. Amanda refused at first, but my lawyer pushed hard. I was not coming back. I was not stopping the divorce, and I was not accepting fatherhood without proof. She thought a pregnancy would bring me running back, but I had learned my lesson about her manipulations. I was not falling for it. 2 months later, the results came back. Negative. The child was not mine. Amanda stopped fighting the divorce after that. She never apologized for the false claim. She never explained who the father actually was. I did not care anymore. The divorce was finalized within 6 months. We split our shared assets 50-50. I kept my retirement account. No alimony since we both had incomes. She never said sorry. I did not need her to. Now, almost a year later, my life looks completely different. I got promoted to art director at Cascadia Creative. I moved to a bigger apartment in Nob Hill. I joined a hiking group and found friends who respect boundaries. We play board games on Friday nights. I date casually, but I am not rushing into anything serious. I video call my mom every Sunday. She is doing fine, by the way. Those tests came back clear. I am not bitter. I am not angry. I am grateful. Grateful I got out. Grateful I found the strength to walk away. Grateful I learned these lessons before I wasted more years. Here is what I know now. Boundaries are not walls. They are bridges between two independent people who choose to connect while still maintaining their own identities. If someone does not respect your boundaries, they do not respect you. It is that simple. Being a man does not mean giving up your personal space. Being a man means knowing when to stand up for yourself. Being a man means walking away when staying would destroy you. It means understanding the difference between love and control. Love trusts. Love gives space. Control disguises itself as care, but it is still control. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stop explaining yourself. You do not owe anyone an endless argument about why you deserve basic respect. Sometimes walking away is the strongest answer you can give. She told me to be a man, so I did. I became the kind of man who knows his worth, who protects his peace, who does not mistake control for love. And the funny thing, once I stopped telling her anything, I finally started telling myself the truth that I deserve better, the truth that leaving was not failure, it was freedom. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is walk away. And sometimes being a man means knowing when to stop fighting for something that is already gone. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever been in a relationship where boundaries were treated like betrayal? Have you ever had to choose between your peace and someone else's control? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story resonated with you, hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel because I share more real stories about finding yourself after losing yourself in someone else. Share this with anyone who needs to hear it. Someone out there needs permission to walk away, and your share might be what gives them courage. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it reminds you that you are allowed to have boundaries. You are allowed to protect your peace. You are allowed to leave when love turns into control. And I hope wherever you are in your journey, you find the strength to be the kind of person who never apologizes for knowing their worth. Take care of yourselves out there.